This on Channel 14, and we're going to be ready for the kickoff in just a moment. This is Championship Football on TCI's Channel 14. Okay, the captains are meeting at the center of the field. The number 12. This is the second round of the championship for Class 2A in the state of Maryland, and it's coming to you on TCI Cablevision's Channel 14. I'm Chuck Lame along with Mark Widmeyer. Glad to have you with us. It's a beautiful night for football, Mark. The field is in probably as good a shape as it could possibly be in for a battle here between two teams coming in here at 11-0, the Walkersville Lions and the Allegany Campers.
Well, in a playoff game, Chuck, you couldn't ask for anything more. You couldn't ask for a better ball game because both teams have gone through, as you said, the regular season undefeated. Walkersville's got a little more than that going for them. They're the defending state champions. That gives the Campers a little something to shoot at. They're coming in here with a 21-game winning streak. And they're pretty proud of that, and they kind of pumped that up this week down in the Frederick and the Hagerstown papers, and they're coming in here with the idea that they can come in here and win this ball game. And of course, if they didn't think that, they shouldn't even be here. But you know, they think they've got an excellent shot of winning the ball game. They've got a very talented group of young men, and you're going to see tonight two teams that are practically going to mirror one another as far as offense and defense. Walkersville is going to run a variation of the wing tee, pretty close to what Allegany runs, and of course Allegany, as you all know, does run the wing tee. Defensively, you're going to see two teams play basically a 5-2 defense, and Walkersville has some variations out of that, but the Campers very seldom vary out of a 5-2. They pretty well stick to that basic defense that Dave Merle has put together, and so far this year have done real well. Of course, you know that they've only given up 47 points. Walkersville, on the other hand, has given up 128 points. Scoring-wise, Allegany is at over 448 points, and Walkersville at 310. So they both can score, and I think Allegany probably has the stingier defense of the two. It's going to be a matter of Walkersville playing probably their first game against a defense of this capability and this caliber. Was able to talk earlier in the week to the coach, Dave Schroeder from Walkersville, and he was telling me that probably Allegany has the best line play offense and defense that he's seen this year.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to see a lot of them this year, Mark, yeah. And when you mentioned their 5-2 defense, with the fellas that they play up front and their two linebackers, they have been very, very capable of taking care of almost any situation they run into. Their secondary has played very well. And they're going to have to play well tonight because this quarterback that they've got, this Phil Cox, likes to throw the ball. In fact, he has 21 touchdown passes. He's completed 75 of 141 for 1,441 yards. That's a 19.2 average. So he don't throw too many short ones. And 21 touchdowns. So it's going to be a good test for the Camper defensive line to see how they can cope with that, and in order to give the secondary time enough to cover these receivers.
Well, it's going to be, I think the secret to Allegany is going to be their ability to get to the quarterback. I don't care who you are secondary-wise, you're only going to be able to cover an offensive man so long. So it's up to that offensive line and those linebackers of Allegany. What they worked on, I think, a lot of part of this week was the ability to get to the quarterback, and if that's maybe part of the secret to their game. I figure they feel that they can shut Walkersville down offensively as far as the run goes because they've shut everybody down that they've faced. But the big secret is when he drops back to pass, we'll be able to at least get pressure on him so that maybe he throws it when he doesn't want to. That's going to be part of their secret. And I think Ricker said something during the week, I think in the Fort Hill game, he got a quarterback sack, first one he's ever gotten. He said he really liked it. I said, yeah, but out of a safety position, you got to watch it, boy.
Yeah, you can't be running up there into that line of scrimmage area or into that offensive backfield when you've got people running down the field that quarterback's trying to find.
That's right. Of course, you know, on the other hand, Chuck, offensively we talk about Walkersville's ability to pass. Really, I think Allegany could have passed more this year, but still Scotty Bowers over 1,000 yards in passing, and that's probably the first quarterback in Allegany history, with the exception, unless you go back into the 60s, that has passed the ball for over 1,000 yards in a season. And, you know, it's just phenomenal that basically a lot of the games in the second half, Allegany really basically shut their offense down.
Exactly.
So he didn't really get all the yardage that he could have gotten. So it might be another test to see him put the ball in the air.
You look here at what he has completed. Scotty Bauer we're talking about now, 45 of 77 That's a heck of a percentage.
That's right.
For 1,073 yards for a 23.8 average and 8 touchdowns. And as you said, you know, Allegany has not had to throw the ball because their great running attack has just been devastating throughout the year. But Scotty has matured so much as a quarterback over the course of this season that, and he's so poised. It just seems like he doesn't rattle. If he gets flushed out of the pocket, he just runs around till he finds somebody to throw it to.
That's right.
And this has been a big plus factor for Allegany this year, I think, in the fact that Scotty Bauer has matured into the fine quarterback that he is.
Well, you know, like I say, the field, we talked a little bit earlier, the field's in good shape. It's going to give maybe the pass receivers a little better chance than they've had in the past couple weeks. But it'll be interesting to see whether they both put the ball in the air or not. I really look for Allegany to come out and establish a running game first. I think they're going to push the ball, try to push the ball up the field against Walkersville and say, you stop this first, and then we'll see what happens. And if Walkersville has the inability to stop the run, I don't know that's been Allegany's philosophy. They only throw the ball when they have to. They don't throw it just to throw it. They throw it when they have to or when they want to, but they have the capability to do it anytime they want to.
Okay, so we're all set here for a very interesting evening, so we're looking forward to it. Hope you're going to stick around here with us. It's the Allegany Campers and the Walkersville Lions for the semifinal. The winner of this one will go to College Park next week to play for the Class 2A championship. So glad to have you with us on Channel 14, and we're going to be ready for the kickoff in just a moment. This is Championship Football on TCI's Channel 14. Okay, the captains are meeting at the center of the field. The number 12 is the quarterback, J.P. Filchok. Number 31 is Gary Silcott. Number 81 is their big tight end, Sean Patterson. For the Allegany Campers, number 75 is Lance Lawyer. Number 73 is Ray Hilton. Number 33 is David Cassidy. And number 60 is David Klein. The officials for this ball game are from the Washington County area. David Hopt is the referee. Ling Louie is the umpire. And it looks like Walkersville has won, or at least they are going to receive. I'm not sure who won the toss, because Jack Gilmore told me if Allegany won the toss, they were going to defer. So, in any event, Walkersville will get the ball. The head linesman is Tom Sullivan, the line judge Robert Powell, and the back judge is David Gardner.
If I have any ability to read what went on there, I think Allegany won the toss and deferred, but the official negated to indicate that in any way, Chuck. Chuck, I think we got a little something we have to do here. We got a little long.
I believe you're right.
We got two things we got to do. The first thing we got to do is we want to wish the best of luck to a young lady that's laying up in Sacred Heart Hospital tonight. Happens to be Dave Merle's mother, Eleanor Merle, who was stricken Wednesday night with a little physical problem. I'm going to say nosebleed. I know it's a lot more involved than that. But she had a little problem. She's been admitted to Sacred Heart Hospital, and she really hates missing this ball game. But we want her to know that the team and everybody else has kind of dedicated this game to her, and just hope for her quick and speedy recovery, because if things go the way the Campers hope they go tonight, they would like to have her on board for their trip to College Park next weekend. And I personally want to wish Nanny, she's Nanny to me and my kids, just the best of luck. I talked to her, Rick, her son, this evening, just about 6 o'clock, said she'd had a good restful day, and maybe if you could drop her a card. She's Sacred Heart Hospital, room 220, Eleanor Merle, or send it to the house, and Chuck will see she gets it. But we just want to wish her and Chuck and him the best of luck.
Well, we certainly do, and we also have something that we need to do here. We need to make a few apologies, or at least I do, anyway.
Mercy sakes, Chuck! I about got killed when I went up to practice the other day.
I have, for some reason, I've been calling Greg Harper Eric Harper. Okay, I apologize for that. Eric Harper is a friend of mine. He's a football official, but that's not any reason for me to keep calling Greg Eric. The other one, okay, is last week I called Shannon Stevens Gomer. Okay, it was supposed to have been Grover, but we're not going to get into that. And from now on, he is Shannon, okay?
Or Thomas. His name's really Thomas. He didn't like the name Thomas. He changed it to Shannon. The kids growing up called him Grover. You called him Gomer. I call him 66. The kid's got to be confused, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they say he answers to anything, so maybe that's why he gets so many different names. But we do apologize. But We're only human, Chuck.
That's right. You know, a fella asked me the other day if I ever made mistakes. I said, well, that's why they put erasers on pencils. Well, anyhow, 66.
66.
Shannon McKenzie. Yeah, Shannon McKenzie. Now,
there we go.
Oh. Okay, Shannon Stevens is ready to kick off, and we're underway. Number 21 has it, Jeremy Long, and he'll get to the 30-yard line. And let's see who's down on the bottom of that pile.
I'd wager
That's 66 and 43. Okay, so we're going to give that credit to Dettinger and to Shannon Stevens. So it's 1st and 10 for Walkersville from their own 30-yard line.
Thomas, Shannon, Grover, Gomer, 66.
Whatever. Okay, so they're going to come out here offensively with J.P. Phil Chalk at quarterback. The running backs are going to be number 32, Richie Adams. Number 30. Now you got, number 34 is Curtis Thomas. Number 40 is Will Pierce. And number 41 is Thomas Morris. That's how they'll line up in the backfield in their wing T.
They run a wing T, Chuck, but they'll use split ends, which is something that Allegany usually doesn't do.
Okay, a little play action pass. Trying to go long. There's a bump. Now you got to call it incomplete. Got to call it incomplete as he was just snuffed under by Randy Wolford.
Chuck, that's a secret. We talked about that before the game. No, it was Cassidy.
Cassidy, all right. Second down and 10.
We mentioned this at the beginning of the game. That's Allegany felt they could get to if they could get to the quarterback, you don't have to worry about the pass, which is exactly what happened right there.
Okay, so we're splitting out. Reggie Crenshaw this time is a wideout on the left side. Again, it's J.P. Philchalk, quarterback, inside handoff, short yardage. Number 41, the ball carrier. That's Thomas Morris.
What I don't understand, Chuck, is they tackled him at the 25-yard line if it was
incomplete.
Incomplete pass. Okay.
Okay, he rolled it incomplete.
I'll catch up here in a little bit to what's
okay, so it's a gain of 3
on.
yards. It's 3rd down and 7. Curtis Thomas is a wing and comes in motion. Back here is Will Pierce. So, Chalk back to throw, no good.
Tell you, he ate dirt again.
Well,
that time,
he certainly
Hilton.
did. David Klein and Hilton.
So that's the secret to the passing game. You don't give the guy any chance to throw the ball, and your defensive backs don't have to worry about it that long.
So back into punt formation is Billy Stouffer, number 11. Back deep for the Campers are Greg Harper and Brian Miller. So Jack did what he wanted to do. He wanted to stop him on that first series. Nice kick. Miller at the 40. And Brian will get to about the 44.
Okay, you got out here on the sideline, Chuck. It's still wet. I mean, the field's really in fairly good shape, but out on the sideline from the hash marks out is still wet and real slippery. And Brian got out there and just couldn't get started. But Allegany's going to start with some great field position right here.
Now it's between the 44 and 45. We'll just mark it here at the 45-yard line. So here we go for the Campers. As Joe Wolf brings them out. We have Greg Harper, Terry Ashby, Thad Michael, and Scotty Bauer. And it's Michael off his own left side. He's up near midfield, about a 5-yard pickup.
And this is what Walkersville Lions are going to have to stop, because I feel that, as we said, I think Allegheny is going to establish the run. If they can run the ball, that's the first thing that Walkersville is going to have to worry about.
All right, so they're alternating fullbacks. Cassidy checks in with a play from the bench. So up front, you've got Wolford and Oates at the tackles. The guards are Stevens and Klein. Joe Wolf is the center. The ends are Ricker and Miller. 2nd down and 5. All right, coming off the right side with Cassidy. He's to the 47-yard line of the Lions. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
Their big concern, I know the Lions' big concern coming in here was of course, Randy Wolford. And they didn't say much about Oates, but you know, over the last about 4 or 5 weeks, Oates has become a force of his own, so that gives that Allegheny the double dimension. They can go right or left.
Well,
but of course, they really get the respect for Wolford. I mean, every team that plays has respect for him, but Oates has really opened up some holes on the other side, too.
Well, he surely has. So 3rd down and 2 for the Campers. And it's off Cassidy. He's going to have the 1st down. And he ran right behind Marshall Oates.
I said you're going to see
Now, they didn't give him his forward progress, but they're going to give him the first down. And I guarantee you, he was over that 45-yard line. I don't want to start picking on these officials already.
I don't either. Sean Patterson, 81, stepped in and wanted a measurement, but the official had already called it a first down and had moved the chains, so it was too late. But as you said, he didn't get his full forward progress.
He certainly didn't. But anyhow, it is a first down for the Campers at the line, 45-yard line. Ashby is a wing on the left side. There's Harper trying to go outside. Gets by one. The first wave bounces off another guy, drives him backwards, and he's inside the 40. I'd say he took number
83
and 50 over there trying to make the stop. Rob Lyman and Mike Zolovic.
Harper hit Lyman right in the numbers and drove him back about 2 yards.
Right, so a pickup of 6 for Harper, second down and 4.
Big Greg at 5'7", 150 pounds, and he was pushing a guy around that goes about 180, 6'3".
So this is Camper football.
I'll tell you,
them out.
I said that the Lions are going to be in a 5-2. They're almost in a 8-man front right now.
Okay, here comes Thad Michael, and he's tripped up, but he's going to get down to about the 36-yard line. So it's going to bring up a third down and a long one.
They've got 8 men right now. The Lions are playing defense. They got 8 men within a yard of the ball.
Well, we can just look for this.
I know what's going to happen here before long.
Before long, we're going to go to Ricker Miller. Got to lull them to sleep. 3rd and 1. Harper in motion. Pitch to Harper. Greg has the first down as he dives over the 35 to the 34. Nice piece of running by Harper.
Tough word, 8:28. The clock, of course, is running. This is the Lions started out with the ball, but when the Campers got it, they decided to use some clock, and that's exactly what they're doing. The philosophy here, a throwing team is a threat to score, which is Walkersville is. They throw the ball, but if they don't have the ball, they can't throw it. So the philosophy here about running the ball, I think that's basically what it is.
All right, Greg Harper is a wing out on the right side, split out wide. 1st and 10. Inside handoff to the fullback, Michael. And Thad will get about 3 yards, maybe 4. We'll see where they mark it. They're going to give him about 3.5.
Somewhat confused that time. It looked like Walkersville, they didn't know who was to cover Harper, so they sent 2 men out to cover him.
So now we're alternating the guards as Ray Hilton checks in with a play, replacing Stevens. So it'll be Harper, a wing on the right side. In tight. Ashby. Terry cuts back inside. Terry Ashby is gone for the touchdown from 31 yards out. A fine run and great blocking by that Camper offensive line.
Well, he did. The blocking was there, but Ashby did a great job that time, Chuck, of reading his blocks and giving the men time enough to set their blocks. And once they had set them, he just weaved his way right back up the center of the field. Good running job that time by Ashby. That was another concern they had. I asked them to list their offensive concerns, and the #1 offensive concern was believe it or not, was Wolford. And then they said they worry about Ashby running the ball. They didn't quite mention number 18 throwing the ball, so.
Now we're going for 2. Bauer looking for someone to throw it to, and it's intercepted in the end zone. So the pass for the 2-point no good. So at the 7:29 mark here in period number 1, it's the Allegheny Campers 6 and the Walkersville Lions nothing. Concludes our halftime entertainment featuring the Allegany Camper Marching Band. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed their fine performance as they really come out here and do just an absolute great job. So we're going to take a short break here, and we'll be back with our wrap-up just before we start the second half. So this is Championship Football on TCI's Channel 14.
Most of you are aware Allegheny has had another champion this fall. Girls country teams have had one of the school's most successful seasons. The boys team finished the regular season at 17-5, placed second on 2A schools in the region.
Allegany Campers 22.
As you all viewed it, you have to know what's going on. Walkersville has got a total of 1 first down. Allegany's compiled 10 first downs, 8 running and 2 passing. The yardage differential is awesome. Walkersville's in with a total of 34 yards, 30 rushing and 4 by the pass. Allegany's in with 227 yards and 179 by the rush and the rest of them by the pass. Leading ground gainers, I don't think it's any question, because we know for one thing that Thad Michael made one complete series of plays by himself, 111 yards. Ashby's in with 51, and Morris for Walkersville's in with their leading ground gainer with 22 yards. So it's a total domination so far in the first half by the defense for Allegany. I mean, Walkersville has not been able to do anything.
Now their touchdown came on a 65-yard pass interception. So it is 22, the Allegany Campers, and 7 for the Walkersville Lions. And we'll be back for the second half kickoff in just a moment. This is Championship Football on TCI's Channel 14. Okay, well, we thought we were going to get a break, but
we're not used to this, Chuck.
We're not.
We got a director sitting here in front of us.
Sitting right here with us. He's saying, no, 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 here we go.
So they're eating hot dogs and drinking. I'll tell you what, I'm telling everybody that this guy, Gennaro, is just sitting here eating hot dogs, popcorn. He's got a pumpkin pie here in front of him.
Oh.
And Chuck and I are here having a talk. We can't eat anything.
Well,
it's
I'm
horrendous.
telling you, what a job this guy has. Okay, the Campers, as you remember at the beginning of this ball game, they won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half, so they want it back. So they're going to be receiving this second half kickoff. So just while we have a moment here, let's just quickly recap the scoring. Terry Ashby at the 7:29 mark in the first period on a 31-yard run got in for a 6-0 score in favor of the Campers. The attempted extra point on a pass was no good. It was 6-0. with 3 seconds gone in the second quarter. Thad Michael on an 18-yard run. Greg Harper then with the 2-yard run, and made it 14-0. Then at the 8:29 mark, Sean Ricker on a 43-yard pass from Scott Bauer, and again Harper on the run, and it was 22-0. Then at the 5:07 mark, Curtis Thomas intercepted a pass at the 35-yard line and ran it back for 65 yards for a score. Their attempt for the 2-point conversion was no good, and it's 22-6, and that's where we stand as we get ready to begin the second half.
And of course, you hate to come out down, Chuck, 22-6, and know you got to kick the ball off. That's another minus factor that Walkersville's got to face here in the second half.
So Adams kicks off. Miller at the 17-yard line. And he's going to be dumped back at the 11 as he was giving ground, trying to get around the outside. So poor field position to start for the Campers.
Just great total team pursuit that time by Walkersville. They just kept at him, and Brian hadn't used him to face with that kind of situation very often, but he tried to give away ground to pick some up, and generally, 9 times out of 10, Chuck, that's not going to work out for you.
So from their own 13-yard line, the Campers, 1st and 10. Scott Bauer, the quarterback. And Michael, the fullback, crosses the 15. He'll get about 3.
Allegany comes out, and of course they go back to number 1, bread and butter, right off the bat. They're going to start off the half with what really probably they start off with the first half, and we'll see what adjustments, if any, they made in their, if they get into a passing situation, Chuck, if they made any adjustments in their pass patterns.
All right, so gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Harper. Nice hole as Greg crosses the 20 to the 22. He's going to be close, well, a little short of the first down. They're going to mark it inside the 22. It'll bring a 3rd and a yard. So up front for the Campers, they have at the tackles are Marshall Oates, 74. Number 71 is Randy Wolford. The guards, Shannon Stevens, Ray Hilton, and David Klein, as they are using the messenger guard system. The ends are Joe Wolf is at center. The ends are Brian Miller and Sean Ricker. As his 3rd down and a little less than a yard. In the backfield are Ashby, Michael, Bauer, and Harper. 3rd and short. Ooh. They missed a handoff, but Scotty Bauer dives over the 25 to the 26.
Bauer's going to go back in the huddle and say, I don't know who missed the handoff.
I think it was Thad.
He'll be, hey, boy, where are you going?
That's a good way to get me killed.
That's right.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Campers at their own 26-yard line. A nice time-consuming drive here for a touchdown of about 7 or 8 minutes, I'm sure, would please everybody.
It would go well in the game plan of the Campers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say it would go well for everybody rooting for the blue and white. Ashby, a wing out on the left side. A quick pitch to Harper. He's got Klein out in front of him. And I'll tell you one thing, that number 34, now where's his flag coming out here?
I'll tell you, we got a flag came in here like after lunch period.
But I'll tell you, David Klein was leading out there on the blocking, and number 34, once again, Curtis Thomas, just did a great job. Now there's a flag here at the 40, and they're calling a clip, and I can't believe that. I just can't believe that.
I'll tell you, that flag came clean out of Washington County. That's how far away he made that call. What happened was there was a block thrown. We're not supposed to say names, but I'm going to say Ray Hilton was the guy that was throwing the block. And what happened was the defender turned on him just as he threw the block, and the official didn't see that.
Now, and that's one thing that they tell you, man, you know, don't make a call unless you see the whole play. And he definitely didn't see the whole play.
It was definitely a guess. They're still going to get the 1st down. Even with the penalty, although it's going to bring it back 15 yards, it's still going to enable Allegany to pick up the 1st down.
So they do get the 1st down. The new line of scrimmage is going to be the 39-yard line. Oh. Well, that's over with. Let's get on with the ball game.
Let's go on. I mean, let's say these zebras aren't perfect either, but, you know, they ought to maybe study a little harder.
guarantee you they missed that one. They're 0 for 2 so far in my book.
Chuck's keeping a book on it, 0 for 2. One very poor decision on the spot. There you go, anyway. The good teams overcome you bad officials, Chuck.
I guess. So here's Hart. We're going to try it again. And Greg is going to be very close to a first down. We'll see where they mark this one.
They had Hilton out there in front of him again.
Now they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. So you're going to give him 5 yards on the pickup. You actually give him 6. Second down and 4.
Look at who just came into the game. Number 64, Mike Lauk.
That was good to see him back.
I know he practiced this week, and he was anxious to get back in there. It's the only way they could get long pants on him. He's running around up there. It was about 20 degrees, and he had shorts on. I said, you're so foolish, we're going to play you. Get long pants on.
There's Michael, the fullback. He's going to be very close to a first down.
To give him progress or the lean, Chuck, if he gets the lean, he could have it.
Well, I don't think they're going to give it to him. I'll tell you, I don't, you know.
Never mind, Chuck.
Never mind.
The Allegany campers are going to prevail here probably no matter what.
I'll tell you, Michael's leaned over midfield, and they got him spotted at the 48.
49.
On the other side.
Chuck throws his pencil. He's really upset. Now he's eating pumpkin pie. I'll tell you, I'm going to stop here in a minute and you have a piece. Gennaro, did you bring enough for everybody? You son of a gun. They might end up with the first down out of this. Nope.
No, it's going to be short. About a foot. Third down is short.
Well, I don't think there's any question about this call. Well, there is a question because, you know, we can go over 71, or we can go over 64, or we can go wide, or we can
right behind Joe Wolf with the quarterback keeper. There's all kinds of options here. All right, third down and short.
I've tried to stay away from calling plays, Chuck, although sometimes I think I could outguess Toby.
Now here we go, third and short for the Campers. It's Bauer, and he's down near the 45-yard line, about a 6-yard pickup on a quarterback keeper.
See, they had that same situation earlier this year. It was later in the game, and Bauer wasn't in the game. Miller was, and they called a quarterback sneak from about the 40-yard line.
He ran it in for a touchdown.
Miller almost apologized for running it in. I mean, nobody tackled him, and that's something that can't happen on a play like that because the way Walkersville's playing with, like I say, they got 8 men within 2 yards of the ball, sometimes right in the line of scrimmage. You get by there, buddy, you got some clean sailing because there's nobody in the middle of the field.
Harper, nice run by Greg as again he takes that inside handoff and follows his guard and the left tackle, and it's good for 8 yards down inside the 40 near the 38-yard line.
But so far here in the second half, Chuck, it's the same story. Walkersville's inability to stop Allegany offensive line on a really grinding out type of an offense. Walkersville just has not shown the ability to stop them on the ground.
They start at their own 13. There's that quick pitch to Harper, and Greg's inside the 30.
This time, instead of Harper going all the way wide with it, he had a nice block out there thrown by Klein, and he just cut it back up inside Klein's block.
So it's first and 10. The ball at the Walkersville 27-yard line. And the Campers on to grind them out. There's 8 minutes and 19 seconds and counting, so they've had just almost 4 minutes as they started at their own 13.
Well, Toby's going back to the first 12 pages of the book. Run, run, run.
There's Michael. A good job by number 50. Mike Zolovic, as he stops Thad for short yardage.
The Camper playbook's about 78 pages, and the first 35 pages has 106 running plays on it. Now, I imagine Toby is not going to go to the second chapter here in the second half.
So they're going to give him a yard, make it second down and 9.
We're going to dirt him and squirt him right here the rest of the game.
Ashby following Mike Lauk's block inside the 20-yard line.
Well, you had Ashby running the ball, you had Lauk, you had Harper throwing a block.
It's good to see Mike back in their lineup.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you one thing, wasn't anybody any more upset than he was Well, maybe I was as upset as he was. We both missed homecoming.
Both missed homecoming. Well, he was here, though.
Yeah, he had the advantage of being here. I didn't. But anyhow.
3rd down and 3. Ball right at the 20. Michael. Now you got a flag.
This must be some kind of a...
Got to be a motion call. I think they're going to call it against the Campers. Flag came down too fast.
It was down before the play started.
Yeah, it's against the Campers. So instead of a 3rd and 3, they're going to be looking at 3rd and 8.
Yeah, old Tubby might be going past, he might be past page 32 for this call, or 33.
All right, from the 25, it's 3rd down and 8. So Mike Lauk checks out. And Ray Hilton checks in. Ashby is spread out wide to the left side. Harper on a dive. Greg
He's still going.
is down to the 1-yard line. What a great run by Greg Harper.
Because he drug Curtis Thomas with him, and he's dragging 180 pounds, about 180 pounds, and he drug him a good 10 yards.
I thought he was going to have enough to get in, but he's down at the 1. What a great run by Greg Harper. And he got the name right.
Got it right. It is Greg. You know what I mean? And here we go. It's just Greg's, no one, he's at full stride. He's at full speed on his second step. That's what makes him so quick. He's got the ball and he's at full speed.
All right, Scotty Bauer is in for the touchdown from 1 yard out.
I'll tell you what, I would wager to say, like I say, I hate to say I told you so, but I think Toby has put the second chapter of Allegany's offense. He left it in the locker room, and he's going to right now power this ball.
I'll tell you what, they held the ball for 5 minutes and 36 seconds as they went 87 yards for a touchdown.
And that was after, you remember, Miller ran around back here trying to fall down.
But they started at their own 13-yard line and consumed 5 minutes and 36 seconds. So now we're going for 2 as Ashby is a wing out wide to the left side. The pitch is to Michael. That is in for the conversion.
I'll tell you, he just hit and dove and was able to kind of hit and dive at the same time and get past Curtis. I'll tell you, you can't say anything about the way Curtis Thomas has played this game tonight so far. He has done a super job.
He has put on a great exhibition. So it's the Allegheny Campers 30, the Walkersville Lions 6. This is championship football on TCI's Channel 14. A long drive that consumed over 5 minutes as Stevens kicks it off. A high kick. Stouffer at the 18-yard line. And Ricker on the stop as he crosses the 25 to about the 27 or 28.
Stouffer is stuffed. Excuse me. I'm going to go back to this Thomas again. Another nice thing that the coaching staff likes about him is he's a junior, so he's going to be back.
Well, I'll tell you, he's a player.
Yes, he is. He
is a player.
I mean, we've mentioned his name probably 20 times tonight, and it's either been on a tackle, on almost a pass interception, and a pass interception.
So it's Walkersville's first possession in the second half. J.P. Filchok, the quarterback, and we're going to get the Campers a little bit anxious. I think the nose guard, Harry Riggleman, kind of broke the plane. So it's an easy 5 for Walkersville, unless he was pulled off, we'll see.
Well,
he was not.
He was at the point where he was guessing on the
snap count.
Excuse me, guessing on the snap count.
So it's an easy 5 yards for Walkersville, 1st and 5.
We're at 5:56 and counting, Chuck.
This will be Walkersville's first offensive play in the second half. And it's to the fullback, no gain, or very little gain. That's number 41, Thomas Morris. On the carry, Klein in on the stop, along with several other blue jerseys. And I give him a yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Now we see Jeremy Long checking in. He replaces Richie Adams with a play from the bench.
Of course, Morris out of that fullback slot, as is kind of customary out of the wing T offense. He's our leading ground gainer this year. He's got 766 yards on 132 carries, so he's had a good season.
Little play action.
It's a tie.
Is it complete?
It was a great catch.
A great catch by number 40, Will Pierce. As he and Rickard both went up for the ball, Pierce came down with it, and the ball was right at midfield. The first down for the Lions. That was a fine-looking play.
That was.
Nice pass by Phil Chalk, an extremely nice catch by Pierce, and a good defense by Sean Rickard.
And Pierce is one of his prime targets. Of course, I think he missed last week's game. But Pierce, his average is 23, almost 24 yards a catch. He's got 454 yards so far this year.
As Pierce comes in motion, the pitch is to Adams, and Klein runs him out of bounds at the Alleghany 46-yard line.
He slammed him out of bounds. That is Walkersville.
No, they're going to give him progress to the 45.
That's Walkersville's second first down, Chuck.
It really has been a camper-dominated football game. Like you say, the one bright spot was that 65-yard interception by Curtis Thomas at the 5-minute mark in the second quarter. Right now, it's Alleghany 30 and Walkersville 6. On a second down and 5. A little play-action pass here as Phil Chalk going deep. What a catch by Patterson. What a catch.
I'll tell you, look, I thought he caught it with his foot. He had everything up in the air, his feet, his hands. Of course, that's why he is what he is. He's another one of their leading pass receivers, and that's why. Just a tremendous catch that time.
I'll tell you, it was an excellent pass by Phil Chalk. He threw it where Patterson was the only one who was going to get it, and he went up with one hand and brought it down. So it's a real nice gain to the Alleghany camper, 23. First and 10.
Comes back to now, Walkersville offensive line is starting to give their quarterback a little more protection.
Fullback right up the middle, Thomas. And Jeff Keys from safety position up to make the stop. A gain of 5 yards. So Walkersville's offensive line is asserting itself right now. Showing us why this team is 11-0.
11-0, and they've been able to put 310 points on the board. And tonight they haven't been able to put any. The offense hasn't, up until this point.
This is really the first offensive show that they've been able to put on there. Again, it's a handoff inside to the halfback. He gets to the 15-yard line. Riggleman. And several others down there on the stop, as that was number 21 on the carry, Jeremy Long. So it's third down. Ball right at the 15. They need 2.5 yards for a first down. Here comes Stevens on the blitz. Now the pass is complete. And again, it's to number 40, Will Pierce, at the 6-yard line.
I think now we're starting to see just some of the abilities that JP has out of his quarterback slot. But like I pointed out, he's getting a little protection now that he didn't get in the first half. First half, these passes he's thrown, he was either in the air, falling to the ground, or laying on his back.
Right now, this has been a test of offensive lines. The Campers controlled it in the first series in this third quarter. Now Walkersville is controlling it right now. And Shannon Stevens tried to anticipate the snap and lost his footing and wound up sliding into the neutral zone. So it's going to cost him half the distance.
And that's exactly what he did, too. I'll tell you, Walkersville would have probably rather not have called that penalty because they would have had a better shot because Stevens was sitting on his behind.
So from the 3-yard line, it's first and goal as we're down to 3 minutes and 19 seconds. That's the fullback, Thomas, and he's in for the touchdown. No, Thomas Morris on a carry from 3 yards out.
It's a matter of time when you give them enough chances down that close, Chuck, and you make mistakes, which part of the mistake was an offense or an offsides, allowed them to move the ball a little bit closer. But you get down that close, and they got 4 cracks at it. If they don't put it in, then they're not a very good team. But they did put it in, and have kind of reestablished themselves here, although still down by 18 points.
So Phil Chalk brings them out as they go for 2 as Pierce goes in motion to the left side. And he's rolling that way. And the pass is deflected.
Well, it was not only deflected, Chuck. It was part of the problem. He was hit. He got his arm hit. David Klein once again got in there.
So the attempt for the extra point is no good. So it's the Alleghany Campers 30 and the Walkersville Lions 12 as you look at the scoreboard with 3:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
While they come up, get ready to kick the ball off, Chuck, it gives us an opportunity to thank some of our sponsors. Potomac Valley Pharmacy. Let Bob Martin Sr. and Bob Martin Jr. take care of your home medical needs. They are located at 501 North Center Street and feature free delivery. Also by Brown's TV, from VCRs and camcorders to big screen TVs. And the Zenith Digital 3 system. Let the fine folks at Brown's show you what they've got. Brown's TV, Wood Street in Cresaptown.
So they took 3 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock, Mark, as they went 72 yards for a touchdown. So Adams kicks off. Keys at the 23-yard line, and he's dumped at the 31 by Mike Wells. So it looks like Walkersville is a little bit inspired here, Mark.
Well, they got the air into the ball in that 3rd quarter, which is about the only way they're going to be able to get back in the game is to put the ball up, because they are not going to be able to run the ball against Alleghany. I think the offensive line, the coaching staff, and the fans, and anybody listening on the radio or watching this game knows that they are not going to be able to run the ball against Alleghany. So they're going to go to the air route.
Now there's Terry Ashby, and Terry will get to about the 35. He's going to pick up about 4.
Little delay that time. It wasn't really a meant delay, but Bauer sort of fumbled the ball out from underneath center, and that kind of slowed things up.
Actually, even 3 yards on the pickup to the 34. 2nd down and 7.
So now it's going to be up Alleghany. I'm sure they'd like to put it together another 5 or 6 minute on the ground drive.
So I don't think they're going to put it up unless they absolutely have to.
No, I think page 34 on to 85 is, like I said, probably in the locker room.
Well, there's Thad Michael. And Thad's up over the 35 to the 38.
I'll tell you, it's just big piles of people getting moved around there now. The offensive line, the defensive line, and they're getting a little bit tougher, the defensive line. But that time they went behind Ricker, and he was able to push him ahead for about a 4-yard gain or 4 or 5-yard gain.
So Mike Lauk and Ray Hilton both check in. It's 3rd down and 3.
It's a key play right here for Walkersville.
There's Thad Michael for the 1st down. As Thad's out to the 45-yard line, he's going to pick up 8 yards on that carry.
And when key plays that you need a key defensive play, and it goes like that, it doesn't speak good for your defense.
Well, they're running right behind Mr. Wolford. And who wouldn't want to run behind?
I'm not saying that their
Mr.
defense isn't good, but I'm saying overall as a team outlook, they needed to stop Alleghany there and didn't do it.
They certainly did. 1st and 10 for the Campers from their own 44. There's a quick pitch to Ashby. And again, look who's out here, number 34. Curtis Thomas. I'll tell you, that guy is all over the field.
That's right. The Alleghany ought to buy his contract up, because I'm going to tell you one thing, mister. He does as much running with the Alleghany players as he does with his Walkerville boys.
I'll tell you something. He is a fine football player. 6'2", 160 pounds, a junior. So the gain is a couple. We're down to 45 seconds and counting left in the 3rd period. There's Michael. He don't get much this time, about a yard.
I think he ran into Bowen that time.
Hey, good job down there, number 84. Vince Santori. His defensive end position. He stacked that one up pretty good. So it's 3rd down and about 7. We're down to 15 seconds and counting.
Well, you're probably not going to see another play unless, well, maybe they are in a hurry to get it off. They really could let the clock run out. And Toby just got the message to his quarterback, Toby Eric.
And they are going to let it run out. So the end of the 3rd quarter, it's the Allegany Campers 30 and the Walkersville Lions 12. The Campers are 12 minutes away from College Park. This is championship football on TCI's Channel 14.
The way to do something right is to do it yourself. And the folks at Daintry's Restaurant know that. That's why every sauce, soup, dressing, and dessert is made the way you would do it, from scratch. Only the finest vegetables, meats, and spices are used in recipes designed and supervised by the Daintry family. Fresh ingredients and breads baked daily mean a better quality of food for you. Come taste the difference that care makes. Daintry's Restaurant, National Highway, LaVale.
Custom Floors in Burton Shopping Center is your complete dealer for Armstrong floor coverings. Choose from a varied selection of colors and textures to suit your building or remodeling needs. Tile, sheet flooring, carpeting, all with the Armstrong name. And Custom Floors offers professional installation by store owner Glenn Michael and his staff because they want to make sure you're satisfied. Stop by Custom Floors for all your flooring needs. Burton Shopping Center in LaVale. Days Market and Deli at the corner of Baltimore Avenue and Decatur Street wish the best of luck to the Allegany Campers in their quest for the state championship. Go Big Blue.
All right, as we begin the 4th quarter, it's Allegany 30, Walkersville 12. It's the Campers' ball, 3rd down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the Allegany 48-yard line.
You know, Chuck, if Walkersville players read the Cumberland paper, or they know what their coach said about them, he made the statement that he says he doubted if he could score 21 points against Allegany. And if that's true, then they could pack her up and go on home.
All right, here's another big play right here. Of course, they're all going to be big plays now. And they fake the handoff to Michael. Pitch to Ashby, and he gets about a half-yard loss on the gain. It's going to bring up a punting situation.
Here the defense has asserted themselves. Now it's going to be up to the offense. They picked up a little of the spark that the offense gave them a while ago when they scored. They stopped Allegany. That's, what, the 2nd or 3rd time Allegany's had to punt? Second time, and Allegany's been forced to punt. Now what Walkersville's got to do is get the ball, get good field position, and they're going to have to put air under the ball again.
So Jeremy Long is back deep as Shannon Stevens in punt formation. Hey, Shannon's going to get the 1st down.
He did that on his own.
And he's inside the 35.
You know, he's been telling them all year long, he says, I'm a runner. I am a runner. I can run the ball. And he did that. I would wager he did that on his own.
Well, it was kind of a high snap.
The reason I said that, when they saw him run, Toby and Jack both turned around and looked the other way. I'm not going to watch this. Now, right there, mister, the wind just came out of the sails of Walkersville.
Yeah, and they're bringing Patterson off the field. Looks like he's shaking up a little bit.
Well, he just got hit by
a freight train.
By Thomas, Shannon, Grover, Gomer, 66 Stevens. Well, he puts his head down and hits you, mister. You know it.
Yeah, he said he'd like to be a running back. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Campers at the Walkersville 34.
I'll tell you, that kind of woke this crowd back up again. They were kind of about half asleep. Look at this.
Got Rickard for the touchdown.
Toby went to page 81. I can't believe it.
Rickard on a 34-yard touchdown pass from Scotty Bauer.
I tell you, Toby is, I'm going to say this about Toby Eric. He did something right there that good coaches do quite often. They had the defense down. Their heads were down, and bang, you come back and hit them with something big.
Well, and you got a guy out there that's got the best pair of hands I've ever seen for a high school player. And Bauer just led him beautifully right over his shoulder, and it's 6 more points for the Campers.
They just reasserted a little bit of confidence in Scotty Bauer, too, because I think Bauer was still suffering after that interception.
Now they're going to start. Are they or aren't they? Michael really driving, but it's not going to go.
Resembles one of their kicks there late in the season. Just didn't go.
So at the 11:01 mark here in period number 4, after a fake punt and a fine run by Shannon Stevens, Ricker on the end of a 34-yard TD pass from Scotty Bauer, and it's Allegany 36 and Walkersville 12. And that was a good point that you made. You got the defense rocking on their heels a little bit, you know, after a big play that they thought they had the Campers stop, and now you just catch them, I don't know if napping is the correct word for it or not, but Ricker able to get behind the defense, and Scott Bauer just laid it out there beautifully, and it's the Campers 36 now and Walkersville 12.
Well, that's one of the few times tonight, too, that the Allegany receivers have been able to get behind Walkersville. And he had about a 2 or 3 yard step on the closest defender.
So here's Stevens now to kick it off.
Bullet.
And he drills it.
They better go get it.
Jeremy Long. And they're going to let it roll out of bounds at about the 9-yard line.
I tell you, Jeremy had a lot more faith in that ball than what I did. He stood there and watched it. It could have if it would have taken a bounce back the other way, he would have been in some serious trouble.
So they'll bring it back, and the Campers will have to kick it again.
But now the paper will read he made a brilliant decision and let it go out of bounds. They're going to let that guy just fake the punt kicker again. But I don't think he cares. 11:01, Chuck, to go here in the game, 36-12. I think Allegany has established the fact that Western Maryland football is still in existence.
I believe you're right. So they'll penalize the Campers 5 yards, so Shannon will kick it now from the 35-yard line. So back deep is Jeremy Long in the middle. He's flanked by Adams on the one side. Now there's bounces off number 20. Uh-oh. Boy, I thought he was going to find a seam up in the middle, and that's Mike Wells. Has good field position for Walkersville as the ball is right at midfield.
Mike Wells, 5'8", 150 pounds. I mean, he picked the ball and stood up, and it still looked like he was bent over.
It's a good position, field position for Walkersville. As I say, the ball is right at midfield as they're going to split out. Number 85, Reggie Crenshaw, to the left side. Philchok, J.P. Philchok, the quarterback, little play-action pass. He's trying to go deep, and it's overthrown. It was intended, again, for his favorite receiver, Will Pierce, but well overthrown.
I'll tell you, Allegany has kind of adopted a little bit of Walkersville's defense that time, because Allegany had Ricker and Keys really behind the receiver. And it was well over Keys' head, too.
Tell you, the Walkersville offensive line is doing a good job now of holding the Campers back, because they're not getting to him like they were earlier.
Well, they've really started asserting themselves here in the second half. Of course, partially in defense.
Well, Pierce on another fine catch at the 30-yard line. You know, all this conglomeration, all these people going on down here. That's a fine play for 20 yards.
In part of defense, Allegany is not blitzing like they did in the first half either. I mean, they kind of let Klein and Shannon on their own in the first half. They weren't on their own; they were under the direction of Dave Merle, but they were doing a lot more blitzing. Right now, they're just trying to play their straight-up defense.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 30.
Here they come again. And when they come, they can get some pressure on him.
Now Harper diving, trying to make the interception. As good pressure put on by Dave Klein and by Ray Hilton.
And Philchok once again just throws his arms up in the air like, I don't know what else I can do here. I'm not used to have to throw from walking or running backwards like I have been tonight.
So 2nd down and 10. Crenshaw will be out wide to the left side. And Pierce out wide to the right. Trying to set up a screen to the tight end.
They did.
And I'll tell you, Dave Klein did a great job. He fought through the screen of blockers and brought him down at the 26-yard line. So they gained 4 on what could have been a big play. A good play by Dave Klein.
Klein went a-flying that time, found out what he needed. He found out receiver.
So they got officials time out here for an equipment problem.
Helmet problem out there for one of the campers.
It's Greg Harper. Now we're all squared away now. 3rd down and 6.
He dove for the ball and lost his hat. 9:42 to go in the game.
A little play action pass again.
I'll tell you what, a nice catch.
Boy, that was a nice catch. Is that Pierce again?
Certainly is.
He went straight up in the air, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Lions at the camper 11-yard line. So I can see why this gentleman had 1,400 and some yards passing and 21 touchdowns. He can throw the ball.
He definitely can throw the ball
very well. And he's got a host of good receivers, too. Again, it's Crenshaw out wide to the right side.
See what a lot of major colleges are looking at him. He's got the tools.
Pierce goes in motion. Now it was intended for Crenshaw, but he threw it on the run.
He threw it on the run, took a dump when he was done. Once again, I bet he hadn't picked himself up off the ground all season probably as much as he has tonight, because he's gotten pressure tonight probably that he hadn't had to contend with most of the year.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 11-yard line. This is Pierce comes out of the lineup. He's replaced by Curtis Thomas, who will be a wing on the right side as Crenshaw is split out wide to the left side. There's an inside handoff, and I'll tell you, it was really stuffed by Randy Wolford. It was Thomas tried a little inside reverse, and they got him back at the 14-yard line. 3rd down and 14.
Well, I think that was just a token run because, like I said, Chuck, they know that they are not going to be able to run the ball against Allegany, but you got to throw one in every once in a while just to keep Wolford honest, and they did. And honestly, Wolford did a nice job.
So it's 3rd down and 14.
Stevens
has him. Shannon gets him back at the 25.
I'll tell you, and Philchok gets up, he's mad because he's talking to somebody. You should have blocked him, but I tell you what, he's a force to block.
And Cassidy was there to make sure he didn't get up.
Both linebackers blitzing that time, and they're just going with reckless abandon now.
So it's 4th down now, the ball at the 24, so it's 4th and 23 for a 1st down. 24 yards for a touchdown.
I'll tell you, Chuck, if they get a 1st down and don't score, it is going to have to be a perfect play.
And it's incomplete. Good pressure by Cassidy and also by Dettinger. And the campers hold, and the Walkersville turns it over.
I'll tell you, Philchuk's out there. He looks like he don't know. He said, "I don't know what. I've tried everything." But what he's got to consider, and the coaching staff is, in my unbiased opinion, Chuck, they're playing against the best defensive Class 2A high school in the state of Maryland.
I believe that, and I think they just found that out.
And it may be the best. Really, I talked to Dave Schroeder earlier in the week, and he said it may be the best offensive and defensive line in the state. He didn't say in our class. And he said, I see a lot of football teams, and they are one of the best.
There's Harper as he breaks the tackle and crosses the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Say, Greg Harper has really asserted himself in this ball game. He is running that ball beautifully.
They threw a flag out here.
For what this time?
I have absolutely no idea. They just made an announcement that woke this blue and white crowd up across the way.
What's that?
They've announced that the seats are for sale on the charter bus to College Park for next week.
So we got a holding call against the campers. Okay, now, you know, again, you know, all these pass plays that are going on and all this conglomeration of people, you can't tell me that out of 8 people down there that somebody ain't holding somebody, but they don't call that. Now they call one over here.
They call a hold on a running play.
Call hold on a running play.
Well, that's on page 86.
Yeah, right. So it's back to the 15. I don't know why I bothered.
Well, Chuck, I said, in spite of the fact you got to go out and play, no matter who's out on the field, you're playing against 11 guys from Walkersville, and that's really all you should be concerned with. The decision that these officials make, heck, as far as they've played in worse fields than these officials could possibly throw at them.
And it's Greg Harper once again as he gets to about the 18, 19-yard line. He's going to get a couple.
He tried to do the high diddle right up the middle, but they saw him that time. Usually Harper gets away with that because he's so little and nobody can find him. You pack him in behind Wolford and Oates, he could hide there for a week. They've rolled the dice. It's 7-11, Chuck, and the clock is running.
Second down, 16. Bauer, and it's almost intercepted. Bounced on the ground. Jeremy Long was the closest to it. It was intended for Brian Miller, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 16. And the defensive line that time of Walkersville got good penetration and made Bauer hurry that throw.
And he hurried it so much he threw it right at three white shirts. Well, he at least threw it at their feet.
6:45 left in this ball game. It's Allegany 36, Walkersville 12. Harper is a wing on the right side. Scotty looking to throw again. And I'll tell you, it was a great try by Greg Harper.
Harper tipped it up in the air. Ricker almost caught it.
So it'll be a punting situation for the Campers.
And I will wager to say, Chuck, the 66 has received instructions from the sidelines.
Well,
that thing you did a while ago, if you can get away with it, do it again.
What they got to do is start getting a little bit better snaps. There's a good one. And it's going to be end over end. And it's going to roll dead at the 39. So a short punt by the Campers. Walkersville gets it at the Allegany 39-yard line.
I tell you, Stevens ran the ball almost as far as he punted it the last time.
6.5 minutes left in this ball game. So we're going to see the air filled with footballs here one more time.
You can see Walkersville's backfield is probably going to be full of linebackers.
So we'll have Crenshaw wide to the left.
Number 75, Lance Lawyer coming in, and Wolford going
out.
out. He didn't get off the field.
Keys looked like he fell down, and the pass was completed to Crenshaw down inside the 20. Oh, Wolford going to get a well-deserved rest. As now up front, they have Hilton and Oates and Lawyer, Cassidy, Riggleman, the linebackers, Stevens.
Wolford's coming back in.
Coming back in.
May have sent him in too late. They're going to have 12 men on the field. I don't care what you say.
Better call timeout.
Well, they were trying to get a timeout. This is just a free play here.
And Patterson is going to be in for the touchdown on a 17-yard pass play.
Well, Allegany, the flag's going to be against Allegany for 12 men on the field. Harper was trying desperately to call a timeout, but no one saw his signal. Walkersville refused this penalty, and the score will go on the board. So you can say one thing right now for Walkersville. They have scored more points in one game against Allegany than any other team this year. Even if they don't get any more than 18, they've still scored more. The most Allegany had scored against them was 14 points against against Morgantown. And the only time they've given up more than 3 touchdowns in a game.
And the Campers want a timeout.
But I'll tell you, it came on the arm of a great quarterback. They virtually shut him down in the first half. And while they're getting their stuff sorted out, Chuck, it gives us a chance to remind us that some of our fine sponsors for tonight's football game, TCI Cablevision Advertising, for the holiday shopping season is coming soon. Advertise now on Cable News Network, the Nashville Network, ESPN, USA, or MTV. And listen to those cash registers ring. Call 722-6547 for the advertising department and ask for Kathy Lagrada.
So undoubtedly the Lions will be going for 2. As there's 6:08 remaining in this ball game, and we've had 4 touchdowns scored in this second half. 2 by each team.
The Lions have roared back somewhat, Chuck. Putting on being able to score 2 touchdowns here in the second half. After virtually purring through the first half, shall we say.
They have asserted themselves here in the second half. There's no doubt about that. There's Phil Chalk. He throws it intended for Crenshaw. And I'll tell you what, if I was Crenshaw, I come back to the huddle. I tell him, hey, no more of this, as Phil Chalk is down.
I'll tell you, Phil Chalk is really, he's worked himself just about into exhaustion. Because he's been virtually under pressure on every pass he's thrown tonight. And he's thrown a couple of them from the prone position.
So it's Allegany 36 and Walkersville 18 as Walkersville is able to get in on a 17-yard pass from J.P. Philchalk to Sean Patterson.
We've got 6:08 to go here.
You wouldn't try an onside kick here, would you?
I'm reasonably sure that the ball probably won't go as far as it usually has tonight.
Well, they're going to get the 5-yard penalty with the 12 men on the field. They'll be kicking from the 45. And Allegany got an awful lot of men up front.
Shall we say the good hands people?
No, not necessarily. They got their normal people up there, except they got Sean Ricker in the middle. And you got 4 men up real close. And they're flooding this side. And
Pfeiffer.
Number 62, Scott Pfeiffer, gets the
good hands
onside kickoff.
He gets the good hands award for tonight's game.
He certainly does. So the Campers get it at their own 42. So we need about a 5-minute drive would be nice.
6 minutes and 5 seconds would be nice, is what Toby Eric and Jack Gilmore and Dave Merle
get
and
another 5-minute drive. This game's history anyway.
Tim Kaine and
everybody.
Danny Keller and Mike Lewis and Ted Eric would like to see.
Michael and Thad fights his way storming to the 50. He's going to get about 7 yards on that pickup. He's asserted himself quite well today, too.
Yes, he's probably well over 150 because he had 110 or 12 at halftime, so he's had another good game.
So Hilton checks in, replacing Mike Lauk. It's going to bring 2nd down and 3. And I'm sure the Campers are going to milk this clock just all they can. Harper will line up as a wing on the right side. Again, it's Michael. And Thad's right near 1st down yardage. We'll see where they mark it.
Hey, Chuck, I think we can, at 4:51, we can safely make a prediction. I think Allegany High School and maybe Allegany County will set a record next week. It'll be the first time they've ever played a football game in December.
That's right.
I've thought about this all year long, but I haven't been able to say it till right now. I mean, with the adjustment in the schedule they had to make this year, of course, next week's game is at Bird Stadium, but be the first time at any high school in Allegany County has ever played a football game in December.
Yeah, because normally it winds up on the Thanksgiving weekend. And there's a 1st down carry by Michael to the 43-yard line.
And I think the cage door was just closed on the lines with that first down, because
so we're down to 4:12, and they're going to crank it up here as soon as the chains are set. And here we go. Lance Sawyer checks in, replacing Randy Wolford. Another fine game by that great football player.
Wolford's had a great career at Allegany, and he's got one more game to play, but he's had a sub-career here in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
He's just been tremendous. Harper trying to get outside. Klein with the lead block.
There goes
Greg
Harper.
cuts inside. Good night. Greg Harper, 43 yards on the touchdown run. No flags.
That's what you look for right away. You look to see if there's any flags. Of course, I mean, Allegany did not need that, Chuck. They need Arias is over there going, I want to run more clock.
Yeah, that makes it 42-18.
I will say one thing. When Mrs. Merle watches this game, that'll be the first touchdown she will have seen. She'll watch the whole game with her eyes shut. If she was over there tonight in the stands, and Chuck, her husband, is over there. I talked to him before the game, and in fact, I talked to the hospital, Rick, just before the game, and she's getting along pretty well, and he decided to go and come to the game because that's where she wanted him to be, here with her son, David, and cheer him on.
All right, we're going for 2. Ashby will not get in.
Ashby had too many dance partners that time out here on trying to get in. He had 3 partners and didn't know which one of them to try to zig by, but I don't think it matters now, Chuck.
3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this ball game. It's Allegany 42 and Walkersville 18, and that's got to be the most points that they've seen scored against them in a while.
Well, this year it is. 34 was put on the boards by Catoctin, and they were able to beat them 49-34. That must have been a whale of a ball game.
It sounds like a low-scoring basketball.
You.
So Thomas, Shannon, Grover, Stevens is going to be kicking off for the Campers. Back deep in the middle is number 21, Jeremy Long. He's flanked by Adams on one side, and I believe it's Stouffer on the other.
I tried to help you out, Chuck. I said you called him Gomer because he creates so many piles.
Nice high kick at the 20-yard line. It's Long. And who's on the tackle?
He just made a pile there by himself.
Number 66, Thomas, Shannon, Grover, Stevens. All right, so it's 1st and 10 for Walkersville from their 36-yard line.
I think you got maybe a couple of new white shirts in there. I see Coons, 83. He'll be at linebacker replacing Stevens. 75, Lawyer. He's been in before. And the ball is up in the air. Nice
route run by Patterson, the tight end, as he's into camper territory at the Allegany 48.
So you can't take anything away from the nice job tonight that the quarterback has done, Phil Chalk. Patterson's played a super game, but my game ball winner as far as Walkersville goes has got to be number 34, Curtis Thomas. He's played just a super ball game.
Offensively and defensively, and my next choice might be Pierce, number 40.
Pierce come in and sparkled there for, a little bit, but
now there's a low pass this time, but it is complete. And again, it's to Patterson, and it's close to a 1st down.
Klein thought that pass was in the mud. 3:05 to go, 42-18. Allegany with the.
Now they're going to call for a measurement.
Allegany with the lion's share of the points. Chuck's not responded to any of these real cute quirks I'm
Lion's share of the points. That's cute.
I wrote that last week. So I hope I'd get a chance to use it.
Now the measuring here for the 1st down. It is a 1st down for the Lions. Ball at the Camper 38-yard line.
All Tim Kane's doing over there is back up. We don't want it over your head.
Well, the last 2 passes actually were thrown underneath.
Well, that's the only thing open to him right now. You can just, well, you can't see it. I can see it. It looks like a big umbrella out there.
Yeah, inside handoff, nowhere. I think that was to number 21, Long.
Another token running play.
And Marshall Oates.
It just don't happen. You know, they're thinking, well, we'll throw a run in and maybe fool them. But you got Oates in there. He's been looking at the same stuff all night long. He isn't going to be fooled. Excuse me.
So no gain, 2nd down and 10. And just Phil Chalk back to pass. Again, there's the same play underneath to the tight end as he's inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. But the clock is running. 2:25 and counting. So the line to tight end up on the right side. He just goes clear across the field and is underneath for a 7 or 8 yard gain. In this case, it's 8 yards.
It's not something that's going to change the outlook of the game, but it does give him some yardage. This is how he amassed 14 or 1,500 yards. I can see how he did it.
Now we're trying to go deep this time.
We want to 6.
And it's caught by Pierce, and he runs out of bounds inside the 20 near the 17-yard line. I'll tell you, this Phil Chalk is a fine passer.
He certainly is.
Oh.
Well, what makes him a fine passer is he's got 2 fine receivers. Number 40, like I say, we pointed out last week, I think he missed the game, Pierce, because of an injury. He's a senior. And what can you say for number 81, Sean Patterson? He's also a senior, but 2 just fine receivers. Very similar to what Allegany can throw at you with Ricker and Miller, but what Allegany adds to the game is they've got the running attack and the offensive and defensive line to go with
Swing it out here to Pierce, and he's knocked down inside the 10. So where the clock is running, we're down to 1 minute and 50 seconds as they're at about the 8-yard line on a 2nd down and 2. Hurry up, offense.
They're in a 1.5 minute drill here.
Now we're looking over here right in the middle, and it's Patterson in for the touchdown from 8 yards out.
Well, the team must have read that article, made a liar out of their coach. They said they couldn't score 21 points, but they've been able to. But I will have to say, I think it's maybe something to do with the time in the game.
I believe.
But makes no difference. The points are still there.
But also what you have, I think maybe the campers, you know, getting a little bit tired chasing this guy.
Well, I would be. I'm tired of watching it.
So he's going to try and do it again, and way back in the corner of the end zone. Now, is it good or not? Well, there's a little indecision back there by the official, but he does credit him with it. So,
well, they took a vote. Harper's there showing him where he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, well, Harper's probably right.
But the only one Harper's showing is the guy who caught the ball, Pierce. The officials are already back up here at half court trying to put the ball back in play.
So it makes it 42 for the Campers, 26 for Walkersville. So there's been a whole mess of points.
I'll tell you, Chuck, I meant to say this earlier. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we didn't get a shot of the crowd. We had a tremendous crowd here tonight. There was probably between 4,500 and maybe 5,000 people here for the game.
Oh, I believe that. And this side over here is full, too, you know.
Our side's full. The whole camper side was filled up.
We might even have more than that. So here we go with an onside attempt once again. And it's not going to go the distance this time.
It didn't even go to, they barely got it. Would you believe a 6-inch kickoff?
Yeah, that's all.
No, 2-inch. Take the ball right there.
So it didn't even go 5 yards, let alone 10.
Didn't even go an inch.
I mean, it did go up and then roll back.
That's a record. A 1-inch kickoff.
So the camper is going to get it at the Walkersville 40.
Well, the Lions' streak will end at 21. They had a tremendous winning streak going over a 2-year period. 21 games. They will not get a chance to defend their state championship that they won last year.
So we have 132 remaining in his ball game.
Campers, on the other hand, will be in College Park next weekend.
So Michael, the ball carrier, crosses the 40 to the 38, picks up 2, and the clock is ticking.
Thad throwing mud. He must have got some mud in his face. I'll tell you, this field looks like a pearl to what it has after the last 3 games we watched here.
I guarantee you.
This is a gem right here compared. We usually are looking at, right now, we're looking at the C&O Canal.
Looks like Scotty is just going to take the snap and just put her down.
He's learned, though. He puts her down and gets right back up.
A
couple weeks ago, he got hit pretty hard just laying there, and he said, I'm not going to do that anymore. He said, I might be young, but I'm learning this game.
Yeah, you do it one more time, and this game will be over. Walkersville sees no reason to stop the clock for a timeout.
If they would see reason, I would definitely go find out what the reason was.
So this will be it. 27 seconds and counting. So this ball game is history. The Campers are going to go to College Park as they beat the undefeated and defending state champion Walkerville Lions by a score of 42-26, and it was a great exhibition put on here by 2 excellent high school football teams. And there's the gun. This ball game is over. Allegany 42 and Walkersville 26. This is championship football on TCI's Channel 14. As the Campers extend their season to 12-0, Walkersville with now 11-1 record for this year. The Campers will move on to College Park and play the winner of the Southern and Forestville game, and will be played Saturday afternoon down at Forestville. So it was the Camper offense just really came to play, and in the second half, so did Walkersville.
Well, the first half, I think, set the tone for the game. Walkersville came on late in the second half with their passing attack. I have to question whether or not, had the game been closer, Allegany's defense strategy may have been a little different. But Allegany set the tone for the first half, I think, for the whole game. They came out, took the ball, kicked off to Walkersville after 3 plays in the punt. Allegany took the ball, marched it down the field. This is what I think that, the coaching staff have decided. I think we can run the ball against them, and we're going to run it until they prove we can't. And they really set the tone for the whole game right there on the first 2 possessions. Walkersville couldn't move the ball, and they literally could not move the ball on the ground all night long. First half, they ended up with 1 first down. Allegany had 10. And Allegany could really move the ball any way they wanted. Scotty Bauer missed a few passes, threw them a little longer in the first half, but in the second half, connected on a couple of nice passes. And I just think that looking at the game, overall game, Allegany had the tone set by halftime, and I felt the game was over at halftime.
Well, I believe so, and as we said, Phil Chalk is a great passer. We saw that in the second half, and the fact that, very possibly the Campers' defensive line was getting just maybe a little tired chasing him around, and he was able to complete some passes in the second half that he was not able to do in the first half.
Well, I think that's true. The defensive line worked hard all night long, and in all honesty, Walkersville offensive line really took the first half off. So they came out kind of fresh in the second half because they didn't work very hard in the first half. They were getting blown off the ball, and Allegany was running the ball anywhere they wanted to, but then in the second half, they sort of asserted themselves in the fact that keeping basically the front line out, but then on the other hand, Dave Merrill stopped with so many blitzes in the second half, which gave him the time that he needed to throw the ball. And had Allegany not blitzed in the first half, the story could have been different.
Yeah,
Phil Chalk did a tremendous job hitting his receiver.
He certainly is. So quickly, let's just recap the scoring. Ashby on a 31-yard run got the Campers on the board at the 7:29 mark. The attempted extra point on a pass was no good. It was 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. With 3 seconds gone in the second quarter, Thad Michael on an 18-yard run. Harper ran for the 2-point conversion. It was 14-0. Then Sean Ricker on the end of a 43-yard pass from Scott Bauer at the 8:29 mark. Harper's run made it 22-0. Then at the 5:07 mark, Curtis Thomas on a 65-yard interception run back for a touchdown. It was 22-6, and that's the way it was at halftime. The Campers took the kickoff in the second half, ran 5 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock as they went from their own 13-yard line on an 87-yard drive, culminated by Scott Bauer's 1-yard run. Then Michael's run for the conversion. It was 30-6. Then at the 3:15 mark, the Walkersville Lions drove 72 yards, culminated by Tom Morris's 3-yard TD run. Their pass for the extra point was no good. It was 30-12. We go into the fourth quarter, and on a fake punt by Shannon Stevens, who ran it for a first down, then on the next play, Scott Bauer hit Sean Ricker for a 34-yard TD pass, and it was 36-12. The run for the extra point was no good. At the 6:08 mark, Phil Chalk to Patterson on a 17-yard pass for the Lions. Their pass for the extra point was no good. It was 36-18. Then the Campers, once again at the 3:40 mark, Greg Harper on a 43-yard run. The run for the extra point was no good. It was 42-18. And again, the Lions struck with Phil Chalk to Patterson once again for 8 yards. And the 2-point conversion to Pierce was good, and it was 42-26. And that's where we are. That is the final score. So it was a great exhibition of two excellent high school football teams.
Yes,
Mark.
I don't think you can say anything. They both came in here 11-0. You don't get 11-0 by being a bad football team. I think, though, tonight the better football team won. I think they're better because of, number one, they have a better offensive line. I think they have a better defensive line, and they're more versatile than what Walkersville was. Walkersville has one great segment of their game, the passing game. They knew that coming in, but they did not. Allegany coaching staff, and I really think maybe the Walkersville coaching staff didn't think they could run the ball against the great line that Allegany puts up, because that was a comment he had. I think it's the best offensive and defensive line in the state of Maryland. Allegany has.
Oh, and it was very evident because I'm sure they had to be very close to 300 yards in rushing offense. So it was a great victory for the Allegany Campers as they move on to College Park to play in the state finals for the Class AA Championship. We hope to see you there next weekend. We're hoping to be there to cover it for the Campers. So for our production crew, Gennaro DiMartino has been our director. Our cameraman has been Dave Malwinnie. So for Mark Widmeyer, this is Chuck Lehman saying so long from Greenway Avenue Stadium in Cumberland. The final score, Allegany 42 and Walkersville 26. This has been a TCI Cablevision Channel 14 sports presentation.
Today's game has been brought to you in part by Potomac Valley Pharmacy in Cumberland, Wayne Chevron, Potomac Farms Dairy, Brown's TV Sales and Service in Cresaptown, Hartley's Pizzas, 3 locations, Days Market, Kelco Federal Credit Union in Cumberland, Daytree's Restaurant, and by Custom Floors, National Highway LaVale. This has been a TCI Cablevision of Maryland sports presentation.
Pieces from Stipe.